Hello, and thank you for joining us today on Insights Tech Talk. My name is Erin Hazen, and I am a Client Solutions Executive here at Insight. In part three of our Tech Talk series with Intel, I am once again thrilled to be joined by Rhett Livengood, Director of Digital Business Enabling at Intel. Thank you so much for being here with us again today, Rhett, to talk about the final phase of our Ready, Set, Accelerate initiative.
Hello, it's great to be back, and it is hard to believe the year is coming to an end. But yes, there are many things in the works for 2022, so it's going to be exciting to look into the future.
We are ready. We're ready to accelerate into the future. It's really hard to believe the year went by in a blink, but we're ready for next steps. So let's dive right in and talk about that. We know that change happens at a lightning speed in the IT industry. So maybe can you tell us a little bit about how Intel is preparing for the future of IT and how you're helping organizations accelerate on their own journeys?
Yes. Well, Intel has teamed with Insight and Microsoft for 2022, and for you listeners out there, you're going to hear about this Rise to the Challenge campaign, and that rising to the challenge. The challenge is really going to be how do we continue to work in this hybrid world, right? It's clear that. Some people will return to work. Some people will never return to work in the office, and some people are going to do hybrid. So, how do we restructure your business work experience so um, you can really contribute and grow in your careers no matter where you're working from, whether that's from your office, um, a coffee shop, or even back in the office. And there are some new technologies and a lot of things we've learned over the last 2 years. And we're really going to put those technologies to work and really teaming. And I think Insight is really doing some great things by pulling some of us industry partners together like Microsoft and Intel to make those happen for 2022.
Excellent. No, it's so good to hear because you're exactly right. You touched on the point that I was just going to mention, which is this is not going away. This is not a phase. This is not, a moment in time. This is the new reality of hybrid workforce. It's here to stay. And I think that that is a really good thing. It's an evolution of how we work and operate together. And I love that organizations like Intel are finding ways to pivot and really transform the options available to organizations. So, considering the changes in the environment, how is Intel prepared to tackle those challenges, especially when managing like sometimes really small and sometimes really large PC fleets?
Yes. So we've looked at the future, and to kind of tackle this problem, we've broken things up into four areas. And for those of you, whether you're in IT or you're a business end user, you'll recognize these areas. The first one is really around security. We've learned a ton of things about security, and really what we're going to try to do as an industry in 2022 is reduce the attack surface. There are so many attacks coming. You read about it in online every day. We have worked very closely with Microsoft and Insight to put together a suite of technologies to help protect the full computing stack. So no matter what security software you use, or OS, or even cloud-based applications, we're really trying to protect those not only with software-based security, but also security that is embedded in the hardware, actually in the CPU. So security is one of the big areas you're going to hear more and more about in 2022. Second, stability. It's interesting that nobody thought about our 5 quarter stability for platform ingredients. Basically, now that people are working from home or from work, the months and quarters go by, and all of a sudden, you want to get a new PC, or maybe something has happened to your PC and you want a replacement or a swap out. And you want to be able to get get the PC, know that the hardware and the software and all of the updates have been made, and that guarantee, that stability, I think is very, very important to have a business office like experience, whether
Yes.
you're actually in the office or working from home or anywhere. So
Yeah, that
that's kind. Yep.
seamless end user experience is critical
Yes. So
to maintaining. Yeah.
and the big news here is we're going to add, in addition to, of course, support for Windows 10, is also add in Windows 11 as that comes out for business
Right.
in 2022. The other area that's very exciting for us, the third area, is manageability. And there we continue with our Intel Endpoint Management Assistant, and we have been working closely with Insight not only on PCs, desktop notebooks, maybe even you use a tablet, but they have been very innovative in their Internet of Things or embedded systems. So we're going to extend this manageability and security um, protection and capabilities that you can manage in addition to your PC fleet, also into your embedded products. So we get into these um, new Internet of Things and new devices, these smart devices. We are going to start looking at this, what we call modern life cycle management, as we come into 2022.
Oh,
And then finally, of course, performance. You still want a PC or computing device that gets the job done. We have a new architecture coming out that's going to have a combination of performance cores and efficient cores. So not only will you have performance for the big, hard hitting, hard charging applications, you'll also have efficiency so you can get all day battery life, especially if you're working remotely or you're not able to keep your PC plugged in at all times. And especially as we start traveling again, this will become very, very important as we have a new era of cloud-based applications. So security, stability, manageability, and performance. Those four business pillars are where Insight, Intel, and our good partner Microsoft are really going to be spending our time with new innovation as we come into 2022.
I love this. I love this just because when we go in, we've been able to do some in office meetings, just a little bit, little sprinklings of them here and there. And our boardroom table only has limited number of plugins. So whoever gets there first gets to have their computer functioning. So I
Yes.
love that there's innovation that's allowing that stability to really be there and make sure that our business days are not interrupted, or we don't have to flip a coin to see who gets to plug in their computer.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
terrific. That's a great recap. Thank you so much, Rhett. I think those are really important focuses for the new year. And maybe just as we gaze into a crystal ball a little bit around 2022 coming, is there anything that you want to share about the Insight and Intel journey? Our concepts, our vision for the new year aligns so well with Insight's vision for 2022 being be ambitious. And of course, Intel's is
Yes.
ready, set, accelerate. I feel like those are like a match made in heaven
They
to
are.
move forward into the new year. So talk to me about the Intel Insight partnership and the future of IT.
Yeah. So with the future of IT, so Intel and Insight have done a lot of research during the pandemic, and here's what we found. It's kind of interesting. Those of you actually watching this recording, um, we have found out that one of the most useful things when you're on a video call is the ability to mute. Maybe you have a barking dog, maybe you have some young children, maybe you just have noise from the gardener, and being able to do that effortlessly and quickly so you don't interrupt the call is very important. Second, inclusion. How do you continue our progress for inclusion when
Yes.
you might have, very simply, you have some people that are more outspoken, some people that are less? We actually have Insight and Intel have teamed with Microsoft. We can monitor who's speaking and who's not, and the meeting monitor can now get an update on perhaps who they should call on who is not contributed to the conversation in a while. So there's some very subtle things that you can pull people in, whether they're perhaps half of your staff is in person and half the staff is remote. How do you get inclusion from all those people and use the tools so it's very seamless and very natural? So Insight has some wonderful demo centers and research centers that they've been working with this stuff on, but we're really trying to look at how can you do true hybrid work where you've got people in all kinds of multiple sites and not make it so awkward and cumbersome. So that's two of the areas we're using. There's a third I wanted to mention right quick, Aaron, that's very
Yeah, please,
exciting.
of course.
One of the things right now, we are on Wi-Fi 6 and Wi-Fi 6E or Wi-Fi 6 extended, which makes us nice and clear and the background's nice and my head doesn't look like an egg. You've probably seen these people that have these underpowered PCs and their eyes go away and they don't see them.
Yeah.
But we are going to add software in 2022 that will automatically prioritize the highest, the most important connection and transfer of data, and it will
Wow.
prioritize that within your PC, so you will get the downloads and the uploads very, very quickly, and it will also look at the traffic, the internet traffic on your wireless router, and it will make sure it optimizes and maybe even choose another router if it sees a faster path. And it will do all that automatically. So we've got some great technologies we're working on in the wireless space. Insight's working on this with us, Microsoft and others. And I think this is a very, very exciting area, again, when we're doing this hybrid or remote work, to be able to really simulate when you're in the office and not have all of a sudden you get locked up or kicked off your call just because that your team's call was not prioritized. And if we can prioritize that team's call and hold the call and maybe slow down some of the other background tasks, that's what we're talking about doing in the very near future.
I I love this because speaking from, well, I think we all can speak from experience working from home. As soon as my son, whom I love to pieces, would flip on his computer and his YouTube and his myriad of devices, everything I did would come to a grinding, halt. So I'm really excited to know that there's technology that can like actually assess and address those kinds of challenges we're experiencing. Who'd have thought that we'd have to have this? But I love the rate in which innovation is happening to address these challenges. Super exciting.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
But I think, it's been great to work with Insight. I think they really are being ambitious. And I think really combining what might have been, I use the word siloed types of services. They're now really connecting these together so you can do multiple things. And I think it's really going to resonate as we, quote, go back to work or go back to the new hybrid world that we're going to live in here going forward. And it's really going to make a difference for, the average employee is going to be able to do things as simply as we might do Excel or PowerPoint or Word. It'll be just the team's experience will be just as carefree as we move forward.
I love it. And I love that we have had the opportunity now to connect over this series of Tech Talks, Rhett. It's been an absolute pleasure. And thank you so much for sharing your expertise. I do know truly this is important information that is valuable to all of our collective clients and teammates alike. So thank you again for your time.
Yes, it's been great, and to everyone out there, definitely I wish you a great holiday season, and for 2022, I hope you can rise to the challenge and
Love it.
definitely be ambitious.
I love it. I love it. Thank you so much, Rhett. And thank you, everyone, for joining us again today for this really special Tech Talk series. If you'd like to learn more about Intel, of course, please visit us on insight.com, where you will find all of this information and more. And I've said it before, but make sure you sign up for our Tech Journal, which is a free resource and that always has a ton of insights into the future of IT for your consumption. My name is Erin, and I am grateful as always for your time. And I cannot wait to tech talk with you again in 2022. Have a great day.